Hey guys, so I want to talk about in this video what we can do when the urge is very strong. Um, when the sexual urge is very strong, you're very tempted in that particular moment to view pornography, to masturbate, you know, that sort of thing. You've got to contemplate. You've got to contemplate in that moment, and you've got to um, raise awareness within yourself. You got to um, just start being more. You choose to be logical. You choose to be rational in that moment, and you really think about, okay, what would actually come about from this in reality if I were to give in to this temptation? Would it actually be worth it? You know, and you invite the Holy Spirit into you in that moment, and you choose truth over illusions. You choose truth over lies. And this is something that we can each practice each and every day. It's a daily spiritual battle, but you just think about, like, okay, what is this actually going to do if I do give in this temptation? Like, would it actually be worth the thrill of it? Would it actually be worth the pleasure? And if you think about it just enough, you realize it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it, right? You can easily realize that it would not be worth it to give in to the temptation, because you would lose the influence of the Holy Spirit from giving into that temptation. You would gain negative consequences from it. You'd gain brain fog. You'd gain depression. You'd gain anxiety. You would gain basically bad luck, pretty much, from giving in the temptation. You gain more power to the addiction. More power to the addiction. You gain more bondage in your life. You gain more darkness. You gain all these bad negative things as a result of giving in to the temptation for just like a little bit of fleeting pleasure, for some fleeting pleasure that's just very temporary, that gives you all these negative consequences in return. Like, how is that worth it, And then if you don't give in the temptation and you choose to be sober, you resist the temptation. Or it doesn't even feel like you're resisting, because you just know how not worth it is, because you know the truth. You just get to not have to deal with those negative consequences. You get to just keep living your life and just be in a natural, healthy state of being. You get to keep the Holy Spirit with you. You get to have confidence. You get to have energy. You get to have clarity of mind, joy, peace, bliss as a result of being sober, as a result of resisting these temptations. You get all these good things. You get all these blessings, these natural blessings that come along as a result of not giving into that BS. So it's just like, you got to think these through. You got to think these things through rationally and logically. Just sure, like, okay, like if you were to give into the temptation, okay, sure, I guess it would technically be like a good escape temporarily. I guess, sort of, technically, and sure, it would feel good. I I guess, in a way, yeah, it would feel good, but like, how would that be worth it if there's all these negative consequences that come along as a result of that? And plus, the act itself of doing that, of viewing pornography, of masturbating, It's a waste of time. It makes you feel like a sicko. And it's not even actually a real good experience. It's like a fake good experience. You know? It's not like a fulfilling, it's not fulfilling. And it wastes your time. So like, even if it may feel good in a way, how is it worth it if it brings you all these negative consequences? It's not worth it, you know? So you got to see, it's all, this addiction recovery journey it's all about seeing through the illusions. It's all about seeing through the BS, you know? And the urge can get very strong. It can get it could get very convincing at times to give in to the temptation, because that biological urge can be very strong, but it's all about realizing the truth and transmuting that energy, you know? And realizing that the true fulfillment and what you're truly seeking for is not in that. It's in seeking God. It's in seeking the truth. It's through abiding by God's laws and finding the true joy, the lasting fulfillment. You know? Because like giving into pornography is like 0.01% of true fulfillment. And then living a life free from pornography, that's like 100% fulfillment. You know what I mean? Huge difference. 0.1% compared to 100%. That is a massive difference. So when you live clean and sober, you get to experience what true happiness is, true pleasure, true fulfillment, true joy. You don't get joy. You don't get joy from giving into porn and masturbation all the time. Joy is non-existent when you're living that addicted, lust-addicted lifestyle. When you're caught in that trap of lust, joy is non-existent, and joy is one of the best things, like the best thing that a human being can experience. Joy is from God, you know? Men are that they might have joy. That is a big aspect of the purpose of life, you know? In fact, you know what, coming to think of it, I would actually recommend studying about that topic, learning about joy and what joy truly means, you know? Learn about joy. Learn about true joy, true fulfillment. You know? There is no joy in pornography. There is no joy in masturbation. There's temporary, fleeting pleasure and pain, mostly pain, that comes from pornography. It's mostly pain. It's a little bit of pleasure temporarily, and then it's mostly pain. So, just some contemplations that I wanted to bring up, you know, this is just like a little contemplation, you know, about the addiction recovery journey, about Nofap, overcoming porn masturbation, to help you to realize the truth and to help you, you know, get through an urge. Just some insights that I felt would be important to share. That's all I got to say, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in the video. Stay true to yourself, guys. Follow the light in your heart. Walk your highest path. Fly on the wings of love, as Gabe Dog would say. Catch y'all on the next one.